फ्रेंड, आप सभी का स्वागत है। फ्रेंड्स, यूएफबीयू ने एक सर्कुलर जारी करके जो 31 जनवरी को आईबीए के साथ मीटिंग हुई है उसका डिटेल इंफॉर्मेशन शेयर किया है। डिस्कशन विद आईबीए ऑन आवर रेजिडुअल इश्यूज। और इसमें आईबीए की तरफ से श्री एमबी राव सेंट्रल बैंक के एमडी ने पार्टिसिपेट किया था और कॉमन डिमांड्स के हिसाब से जो बात हुई, इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ 5 days वर्क वीक। We had earlier suggested an increase of the 30 minutes per day in the working hours for declaring all Saturday as holiday. In this meeting, IBA proposed that the working hours be increased by 45 minutes per day for implementation of the 5-day work week. We, however, insisted on our earlier suggestion. After further discussion, IBA requested us to submit our revised suggestion on working hours and business hours for cash and cash transactions. We informed IBA that we shall submit our views after discussion amongst our constituent members. Updation of pension. To our demand for updation of pension, IBA informed that the issue in our litigation before the Supreme Court. However, IBA wanted us to concrete our demands so that they may work out the cost involved for such updation and for taking a considered decision looking to its impact on the pension fund in each bank, the additional provisions that banks have to make in the pension fund, etc. IB also explained that the general view and perception that the existing amount available in pension fund is adequate to meet the additional cost of updation is misplaced, since all the banks are already making additional provision every quarter even to meet the cost of present pension payouts. We demanded sharing of data and engagement of one or more actuary to calculate the actual cost of updation and also to analyze the health of fund. Reverting to old DA-linked pension scheme. To our demand for restoration of its reverting to old pension scheme for the post-April 2010 recruitee, IBA informed and suggested that since the would amount be amending our existing settlement, the same may be taken up the discussing during the ensuing negotiation for wage revision. We have agreed the same. Fourth point, increase in ex gratia pension for pre-1986 retirees spouses. To our demand for increase in ex gratia pension being paid at present to the pre-1986 retirees and the surviving spouse, IBA informed that the matter is under active consideration of IBA Management Committee and a decision will be taken shortly, and accordingly the banks will be advised. Negotiation of charter demand. IBA informed that the government has sent their communication to the banks that the negotiation for the next wage revision may be initiated, and accordingly IBA requested all the banks to pursue the charter of demands and submit their mandate to the IBA. In view of this, we suggested to the IBA that the date for the formal commencement of the negotiation may be fixed at an early date with a view to complete the process as early as possible and avoid undue delays. IBA agreed with our views and informed us that they would discuss amongst themselves to further move in the matter. Discussion with the workmen unions. Point wise ये discussion है. In the DA scheme, the base year may be shifted from 1960 is equal to 100 to 2060 is equal to 100. IBA opined that this can be taken up for the discussion in the negotiation for ensuing wage revision. Allocation for staff welfare scheme to be based on operating profit instead of net profit. IBA informed that the issue is under active consideration. Revision of inconvenience allowance in fiscally challenged employees is agreed in the 11th bipartite. IBA informed that the same been duly recommended to the government and the same is in process. A special allowance to be paid to the award staff in Northeast. IBA agreed to follow up the matter with the government. A special compensatory allowance in J&K and Himachal Pradesh. IBA agreed to refer the matter in the government. FAQ to the bank uniform guidelines on fitment protection of emoluments of joining of the banks and clarification to be given by IB and clause 4C of the 12 by BPS. IBA agreed to look into the issue. IBA informed that the issue would be discussed further in the light of the submission made by the unions. Proper implementation by banks of the government guidelines regarding transfers, promotion, and the posting of the person with disabilities. IBA informed that these guidelines are being adhered to by the banks. Uniform business banking hours in the bank. IBA informed that the issue can be discussed along with the discussion on 5 days week. Retirement benefits to be brought out in the purview of income tax. IBA informed that they are facing some court cases in this regard and hence cannot discuss the matter since it is sub judice. Reduction in premium on medical insurance for retirees. IBA informed that the issue can be discussed in the small committee. Improvement in pension scheme. Additional pension above age of 80, 90, 100. Full pension after 20 years service, calculating pension based and the last is pay. IBA informed that the issue require further discussion. Most of the cases में they require the further discussion and बात आगे बढ़ गए. डबल जियोपॉडी डिस्कशन विद द ऑफिसर्स यूनियन. हाँ, वर्कमैन के साथ एक और इशू था, पेंशन टू द रिजाइन एम्प्लॉइज. आई बी इन्फॉर्म्ड दैट दे आर नॉट इंक्लाइंड टू एग्री. डबल जियोपॉडी, डीए रेगुलेशंस, ग्रिड हॉलीडेज, चाइल्ड केयर लीव, नॉर्थ ईस्ट अलाउंस एंड स्टेग्नेशन इंक्रीमेंट एंड एलएफसी. इसमें सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट जो है स्टेग्नेशन इंक्रीमेंट के बारे में है. वाइल IBA reiterated that their approach that the monetary benefit would be available from 1st November 20. We opined that the most banks have not correctly interpreted the payment of arrears due to the introduction of one additional increment from scale 1 to scale 4 and the adjustment of the periodicity. The amount to be paid as arrears have been factored in while computing the financial allocations. In fact, we stated that the number of officers stagnant are bare minimum. The benefit should be extended forthwith. IBA has agreed to revisit the issue in view of the benefit extended to the officer in some banks who have correctly interpreted the date of payment of arrears due to introduction of an additional stagnation increment and also the reworking of increments due to the reduction of the periodicity from 3 years to 2 years. LFC. IBA has appealed to take it up the ensuing salary revision exercise. We reiterated that an advisory need to be issued to make the facility available to spouse. IBA agreed to examine matter positively. We are confident clinching this issue. Reimbursement of expenses on travel by board, PLI, mandatory leave, medical aid and tax on the NPS 14%. लेकिन सब मामलों में ऐसा कोई मामला नहीं था जिसमें IBA ये कह दे कि ये हो चुका है या अभी जल्दी से हो जाएगा. सारे मैटर में उन्होंने अपने रिप्लाई दिए हैं और इस सारे पत्र जो 4 पेज के लंबा है इसका मैं आपको अपने कम्युनिटी मैसेज में डालने के प्रयास करूंगा जिसे आप स्टडी कर सकते हैं. और अगर आपको लगे कि आपको चाहिए तो आप अपना व्हाट्सएप नंबर भी शेयर करें, मैं मैसेज करूंगा. थैंक यू. नमस्कार.